Good afternoon. I'm Jason Medlock, and thank you for joining us again for another segment, another show of expansion of consciousness. We have a very exciting guest, a very knowledgeable guest with us today. Life purpose. Those are the words for today, life purpose. And I've said many times on this show that we will intertwine consciousness with life purpose, with business, with things that the tools that you need to move your life ahead, to move yourself from wherever you are right now to the level that you want to be. Bill Heinrich is an outstanding life purpose coach. He has outstanding courses. He's things that he'd like to share, but success isn't always what it seems from the outside. And Bill speaks from experience. He's found that success at a very young age, um, and he found a lot of it. He was living in one of the most beautiful places on the earth. From the outside, everything looked perfect, but something was always missing. Surrounded by material success, with everything in place by his normal standards, Bill found himself dissatisfied and nothing seemed to fill the emptiness inside. No matter how much money Bill made or how successful he was, he never really felt whole. Over the course of this time, the feeling got worse and it never got better, no matter what Bill did. Quote, I remembered it was almost 30 years ago that I was so miserable, I walked out the door to change my life and I never looked back. Prior to Bill starting his spiritual transformation path, his life was literally out of control. Dysfunction completely controlled his life. He was making decisions on who he wasn't. And he was literally walking through life blindfolded. Without any further ado, I'm going to bring Bill Heinrich on to sort of walk us through true life purpose and how it can help you. Bill, good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm great, Jason. Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, yes, yes. And just listening for the audience, listening to your story, and then just for myself, having the pleasure to study it and study you and read all the things you had to go to before you found your life purpose is absolutely amazing. But I like to sort of start off kind of like I do with everybody. And can you walk us through what brought you here today? How did all of it start for you? I know you've had nearly 30 years of research, investigations, and experimentation to find these answers about passion and purpose and prosperity.
Mhm.
Um, how'd you? What prompted all of this?
Well, um, I can look at it two different ways. I can look at it from here, looking back, or I can give you the vision, what it looked like back there. And prior to walking away from my life just never made sense to me.
Yes.
And I didn't realize it at the time, but I had this inner wisdom, and that's what confounded everything. And I was in a very strict religious family, a lot of doctrine. I just didn't fit in. And I literally kind of made a conscious choice to quit in like the fifth grade because I figured I was going to go to hell. So I just have fun on the way there, kind of thing. Right. So, and that went on, and it just, I got out of school. I very successful, but couldn't hang on to money. I sabotaged myself, chaos, lack of self-esteem, all kinds of things going on. It was misery to the point where I just had enough. And that night in December, 3 days after Christmas, 9:30 at night, snowing. I lived at Lake Tahoe. Walked out the front door into a snowstorm. Never came back
Mm,
because I had to find the source of my misery. So what brings me here today is I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that my life purpose now is to empower others so that they can go empower others.
mm,
And I found the source of my misery, and my interest I know in the introduction of your show, you went through a lot of different modalities and such in the metaphysical arenas. And my interest is only in living. I have a belief that there is a heaven and hell and that it's here on earth. And you can create your heaven or you can live in hell. And it all depends on your perception and your willingness to take a look at resources that are available and different perspectives that can change everything. And I know that you went through that where you knew there was something else. So
So everybody's spiritual journey looks different, but we all go through it, and we pull ourselves from the place we were at to where we are now. And nothing's ever perfect, but you do get to a place. You get to a level to where you can understand how to use the tools that you picked up during this walk, during this journey, and start to help others with their pain. Can you tell me, or can we talk about the
yeah,
particular?
well, you can't.
Mhm.
Yeah, first of all, the spiritual journey. But I want to be clear about one thing. Okay, perfectly clear. Every human being is on a spiritual journey. They're just at different aspects of the path based on vibration. That's all.
Yes,
So
yes,
everybody's on a spiritual journey. We're all here to learn things to help heal our soul. There's no question in my mind about that. It's proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, right? There's 38 different life lessons passed. So are you familiar with life lessons? Are you familiar with your life lessons?
I'm familiar with some.
What's your date of birth? I'll tell you what your life lessons are.
Oh, okay, okay.
What is it?
01,
What's the date?
20, 0,
January?
1, January 24th, 1971. And we're just letting everybody know live what my age is, but that's okay.
Okay. Your overall lesson deals completely around your willingness to be open and share what's going on inside of you and your ability to trust. And
Okay.
that lesson, does that sound familiar to you?
Well, yes, it does. But let's talk
Yeah.
about how you know that. Let's talk about the steps behind that.
Well, it's numerology. So this is one of the many tools that are available that can tell you about your life. There's 38 different life lessons passed. Your path, your overall lesson deals with trust and openness, being you get a lot of information, but you don't share it because you don't feel like it fits in. But the fact of the matter is the information you're getting, see, you're smiling, the information you're getting is wisdom you're getting that you're just supposed to share. And that's where the lack of trust comes in. You also would have a tendency towards you'd have some issues around cooperation and balance.
Mhm.
So I don't know if you're still rebelling, but I'm sure that you did in the past, or you're over pleasing. You're doing one of those two things. And,
Yes. Yes.
and, uh, and the other thing is you always have a struggle. Um, you always have a struggle between freedom and discipline, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't have a good balance in your life between those two things because you have lessons in that area. So you'd be overworking, or you just walk away from work and just go play. Like for you, if you have lessons in that area. So
Good. Good stuff. Are these some of the things that or some of the tools you've developed over your spiritual walk? Do you use these in your coaching sessions?
these
How
are
does it work?
these are tools that I've just come across that are out there. They're free for everybody to use.
Okay.
That's the most fascinating thing is everything that I've learned and everything I'm going to talk about today is free and available to everyone.
That's good. Awesome.
Everything.
Awesome.
Okay. But let's go to the beginning.
Okay.
You talk about consciousness, and I want to take consciousness to an even finer level. Okay. I want to take it down to feeling. Okay. Because it's our feelings that run our life. This is the thing that causes us to allow our subconscious to make choices for us prior to we're even conscious to the fact we're going to make a choice. It's already been made. That's the way we're built I mean, that's scientifically proven,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
So this is
our consciousness is beamed in. We're not our
right.
conscious. Hmm.
Yes, yes. Consciousness is putting into yourself in a state of reception and
Yes,
awareness in the present moment. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that. Yeah, it's beamed in from a unknown location, a source, which means that um, although you and I are having this conversation, we're not really in control of this conversation. This
No, no,
information, yes, it's been beamed.
no, no. It's being guided. Yeah,
Same thing.
yeah. So
Same thing.
here's, the thing that people struggle with is the
Yes.
fact that life is so confusing. I've been researching this 30 years. I've been coaching people 15, and I give a 100% money back guarantee on their success. Anyone I work with. Now, think
Mhm.
about that. Somebody wants to live their purpose. I don't know if I can. 100% guarantee, success guarantee, or you get all your money back, right?
Right.
That's how powerful the tools are that I've uncovered. They aren't mine, they're out there for everybody to use, but they need to be put together a certain way, and then they stick. And that's the thing, is when I discovered the things I discovered, like our divine gifts. We have 7 divine gifts, energies that flow through us. They flow through our 7 chakras, starting with the root chakra, going to the crown. It's divine compassion, divine creation, divine order, divine healing, divine authentic self-expression, divine truth, and divine power. We have all of us have all 7 of those energies, but we have them in different proportions, and that's what makes up our purpose. It's an
Yeah,
it's
those energy levels you spoke of, or energy wheels, and Reiki masters, when they're performing Reiki on
right.
individuals, and they use the pendulum
Mhm.
to find out where the blockage is. So
Right.
in those 7 chakras, some of those energy wheels aren't turning sometimes. That's
All
why.
of them aren't.
Exactly.
All of
So
them aren't.
so I'm only adding to what you're saying. You're absolutely right. And what Reiki masters do is they locate the area where there's stagnation, and then they move that
They clear
energy
the
wheel
energy. Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and make it move again. And that's why people can get up from the table feeling refreshed after a shock, after a
And, and
uh,
there's
Reiki
there's
session.
there's so many different protocols that people work with using energy. Okay.
Hmm.
When people are working with energy like Reiki, okay, this is not a blatant 100% true, but for the most part, they're moving this energy. When they move that energy, it gives people openings to realizations or more wisdom to
Hmm.
make, and awarenesses where they can make better choices to live in with more peace, joy, and love in their life. But the energy, when you work with an energy worker, it's like getting a haircut, because that energy is coming back. Even though it's been cleared, the source of it isn't cleared.
Yes.
Anything that ever enters the system always stays in the system. So we have such misperceptions about what's going on in life, Jason. It's ridiculous. We have no clue. We have no clue. Oh, we think we do, but we work from the confines of our mind, our brain, that can only resource the past. Our mind can only resource the past, our past experiences. That's all it can do. And it's going to protect us. So we have boundaries of ignorance that are so narrow, it's hard to believe.
And when
No
you speak of
mind.
the past, the subconscious mind, even then, shows you portions of the past that's important to
Mhm,
you. Why are
mhm,
you living this lifetime?
mhm,
Because you can have access to every part of your past in memory if it was appropriate. So you're
mhm,
absolutely right, Bill.
mhm. So what happens is, for the most part, because the best you're going to get out of life in the physical, our physical life, is work, lack of clarity, and suffering. That's what life is. You know, a psychiatrist I heard speak once, very smart person, really respect him. He said, here's the definition of good mental health: getting past the current challenge you have in front of you, knowing another one is waiting. That's good mental health. That's what life is like. So, which is really true. So the whole point of this is, in the physical, it's all about limitation. In the non-physical, which is the universe, which is everything you can't see, touch, or feel, or most people can't, some can. It's all the area that just is. This is all part of us. Everything's a vibration. So we live in two dimensions. We live in a physical dimension and a non-physical dimension. Our physical dimension, our life, we use our mind and our ego, and protects us. In the non-physical dimension, we connect to that vibration with our heart. Now, the heart.
Yes.
Now, in the physical, pay attention to this. This is really critical. In the physical world we live in, there's only two emotions. And emotions are the fabric of life. They're the most important part of life. But there's only two emotions. There's fear and there's love. Everything stems from those two.
Yeah, I would agree.
Every emotion comes from one of those two. You're either coming from a place of love or a place of fear.
But then you have to ask yourself, okay, then why are
Does that make sense?
But then you have to ask yourself, then why are we incarnated here on Earth? We're incarnated here on Earth because we're here to learn. We are here to learn. Earth is a training ground, and you are equipped with emotions. Once you're incarnated here on Earth, you're already starting with karma. So it makes clear sense. I've been down this road. That's why I'm actually enjoying this conversation.
So the emotions are our radar system. Now, most people that I speak to talk about their problems, and when they speak about their problems, they're speaking about the pain, the uncertainty, and the issues. But the truth of the matter is, the problem is only a problem because of how we feel. It's our emotions that are disturbing you. You have a thought process that goes with it, but that's from the story behind it.
True.
You can change that story anytime you want to. You can change it anytime. Write a new story. We have stories inside us that don't serve us any longer. Consequently, we go into reaction. And when you're in reaction, your life is out of control because so if you watch your energy and just focus on coming from a place of love for the benefit of all involved, there's some guideposts that go with that. With love, you can't have defensiveness. Repeat that. With love, you can't have defensiveness. The defensiveness is something you can only experience in your physical life. You can't experience defensiveness in the non-physical. It doesn't exist. So that immediately tells you that your mind and ego is doing the work, not your heart.
The human ego. What an interesting topic that we could probably spend a whole show on.
Yeah,
your mind. Days. Yeah, your mind and your ego are probably doing all of the work. And let me just tell you, the human ego is something that I've wrestled with. I have a book coming out the first quarter of this year, The Expansion of Consciousness, the infinite abilities we possess from within. I have a whole chapter on psychedelics. And there I talk about the death of the human ego, which I've read in a number of books. One of the books I love, Be Here Now, it talks about when you're on this trip, the psychedelic trip, and the mind and the ego are very present. And it's almost like you're looking at yourself playing in a movie, and you're observing the human ego and how devastatingly terrible it is, and how you wish that that was not a part of you. And I've had that experience when I've tried psychedelics, and I've tried to minimize and or destroy the human ego. And I know we talked earlier, you were like, Jason, man, you got a good spirit. It's because I don't identify internally as anything. I know that I'm Jason. I know that you're Bill, but the self-identification fuels the human ego. And I'm not going to take over this thing, but you're bringing some great points up. You just really, really sparking things within me. But the mind and the ego, Bill, I'm all with you.
Yeah, because the mind can only access the past.
Yes.
So there's a term, mindset. In fact, you have it, that you're a mindset performance coach. Here's my take on mindset. Okay. My take on it is, if you want to live to your fullest potential, mindset can't take you there. And the reason it can't take you there is because your mind can only access the past, and set is fixed. And there's nothing in the universe that's fixed. Everything in the universe is in a constant state of expansion. So what you want to do is have an intention that you feed with the energy of the emotions of what it's going to feel like to embody that showing up in the physical, how it's going to feel. And that energy is what's going to attract everything to you. And you put my mind is like a bad neighborhood, Jason. I don't go in there alone. It doesn't serve me.
A few things. The word can't is not a word I ever use.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's not a can't. I mean, we can do anything we want.
That's correct.
And we look at words and phrases in this third dimensional construct, and that's all it is a software. It's an avatar. So when you see mindset, you're only looking at words. You and I both use specialized modalities that really get the job done.
You want to energize everything.
Yeah. So I never use can't. What can happen and what couldn't be, and someone is not. I stay away from those terms because that's not accurate.
Right. And you want some more? I'll give you some good ones.
Yes, sir.
Good. Take your pick: accountability or responsibility.
Responsibility.
Bingo. Energetically, you want responsibility. Because when you have responsibility, you own your power. Energetically, when you're being accountable, you're being a victim.
Yes.
You're answering to someone else. You're not being equal. They will have control over the outcome because you're being accountable to them. Yes. And they're going to give you the measurement of good or bad based on your performance. But if you're responsible, you come at it equally because you're choosing to participate.
And we have choices here while we're incarnated. And I know a lot of people, Bill, and I know I do this, but I tell a lot of my clients, when you're manifesting or you're wanting certain numbers to manifest in your business, or you're trying to be the best athlete you can be in a particular competition, you have to ask for permission. So, I mean, you have to give, I said ask, I apologize. You have to give permission to your higher self to intervene in your life, because we are free will beings.
That's our greatest asset. We're the only ones in the universe. We have free will and choice.
Exactly. God gave, or Source, I like to call him Source.
Source
gave humans one of the most important powers that Source has. And the ability to have free will is what he gave humans. Mm-hmm. That's a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is humans could do whatever they wanted to do as long as they could think it. But what they also could do is think against Source. Mm-hmm. And that's what made that particular power he gave good power and a bad power.
There's no good or bad. That's just duality. There's duality in everything in the universe has polarity, opposite sides to it. Temperature, hot and cold, minerals, everything is in duality in the universe. So that's what creates that. I'll give you another word not to use. Okay. One of the first words I teach my clients to never use again. Never make another decision. Ever.
Never make another decision ever. I got it.
Because decisions only create stress and overwhelm. And the root meaning of decision in the Latin word means final. Instead, make a choice. Decision means we've got to make this choice. Let's get some awareness and make the choice. If you don't like the choice, you know what you can do? Make a different one. You can change it.
It sounds like you are an expert in neuro linguistics.
Well, do you feel the difference in the energy? Do you feel the difference in the energy of those two?
Absolutely. I'm applauding the way that it's really, changing, because words are powerful, and how you have your clients move to different types of words to use. That's absolutely important. Absolutely important. And, and I mentioned neuro linguistic programming, NLP, because NLP has characteristics of that. How to say things, but you can say things that aren't effective. Then you can reword one or two words and saying the same thing that's totally effective. So yeah, I'm loving the direction you're moving in with that one.
Yeah, choices rather than decisions.
Then
you have power.
Well, your whole one of your platforms is on purpose. Do you have any keys to life's purpose that you can share with us?
Well, the best key that I have is my book on Amazon, The 7 Levels of Truth, because in that book is everything I use in my coaching. Okay. It's all there. And I go through the different aspects. You see, here's the first problem.
Okay.
The first problem that we face in transformation is we're constitutionally incapable of being honest with ourselves.
Okay.
We aren't capable of being honest with ourselves. So you have to get a rigorous assessment to see exactly where you're at, because that assessment is what's going to set you free as you have more power.
Okay.
The second thing, after I do the assessment, I created something called the challenge wheel that I take people through. We'll end up with over 40 things creating toxic energy in their life. And they really love finding out because it gives them a lot of clarity. Then I have the ability to do a meditation and give a person their exact energetic DNA. And this is what changes their life instantly. Because when you get your divine powers, you don't know about them, you feel them, Jason. The difference is you feel them. And these energies, when not used properly, come out as penalties. So because we've done taken a thorough look at what's standing in your way, blocking you and holding you back, the first thing we look at with those energies, because our energies, everyone has all 7, but they're different proportions. This is what makes our uniqueness. This is the thing that makes that snowflake effect they talk about. No two people are the same. It's our energy. It's our energy. So your life purpose isn't what you do. Your life purpose is not what you do for work or what you do in life. Your life purpose is the energy behind every thought, word, and action that you take.
So the steps that you're talking about is how you find your life purpose.
That you let it appear. It just appears. So we know what it isn't.
Right.
I can easily identify what it isn't. You see, when you're manifesting something with energy, which is something you're very familiar with.
Yes.
You don't know it's going to appear. However, you know the energetic values of it. right?
Mhm.
Because if you're manifesting a specific thing, that's not a manifestation, that's an expectation.
Right.
When you see it in the physical, it becomes an expectation. But if I want to manifest, a new car, it's going to be a convertible, I just make it up. I want it free. It's kind of this color. I can create anything I desire, right?
Right.
And here's what it's going to feel like driving it down the road. Here's what it's going to feel like receiving it. And I'm sitting in those energies. And every day I just sit down and just energize those intentions and watch them come true. But you've got to look and see what's blocking it. So we have life lessons, we have penalties from our energies. You've got to be familiar with what's blocking it. Then you know where you are.
Yes.
Then you literally have the ability to be conscious because you're connected to how you feel.
Yes.
If you're
Well,
not
so
connected to how you feel, you're just in your head and you're lost.
so how long does it take to accomplish this? If you're coaching myself or someone who's watching this now, how long does it take to accomplish this type of finding your purpose?
Well, I can change anybody's life in 60 minutes.
Mm.
However, you then have to understand how to integrate it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the integration that makes it the best, right? So, because that's what makes it stick, is the way I teach it. So with my clients, I have a 90-day minimum with clients. I have a group coaching program. I have a super conscious mastermind and individual one-on-one coaching. And it's a 90-day minimum just so you can learn about the integration and everything of it.
Gotcha.
What happens is they don't leave. Like my one-on-one coaching right now, I've got 3 clients who've been with me more than 5 years. We meet every week and we've been doing it for 5 years. It's just when you go into expansion and energy, you can just create crazy stuff. It's so much fun.
Wow. Let's do a reset right quick. You're listening to the Expansion of Consciousness. I'm your host, Jason Medlock, and we have Bill Heinrich with True Life Purpose now with us. And we're going to listen to Bill a little bit here real quickly as he talks about, the book and his program.
Here are 3 keys to shatter what's blocking you, standing in your way, and holding you back, and access 100% of your potential and your power. How would it feel to wake up every morning knowing you have 100% access to your potential and a clear blueprint to live your life purpose? That would be awesome, right? We would all love to live in full potential and have a blueprint to our life purpose. We've worked so hard to resolve our conflicts, and we aren't getting the answers that feed our soul. We've been to seminars, classes, read books, always leave feeling empty without the answers that we're seeking. Life is difficult because we've been taught to live with a survival mindset, always hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. We live in a world where there's winners and losers. We focus on acquiring more money and material things, but it never leaves us feeling fulfilled. I know what this is like. I lived that way for over 40 years. In fact, it got so bad that I literally walked away from my life. I couldn't take it anymore. The misery was too great, and I had to go find out why. I had very low self-esteem. I was always seeking happiness outside of myself and always left disappointed. I would do what was ever necessary to keep people happy and avoid conflict. I was overgiving, getting burnt out, and feeling resentful. Does this sound familiar to you?
I know it sounds familiar to a lot of people, but my next question to you is, what blocks us from finding our life purpose?
The thing that blocks us, it's going to come down to our basic needs, right? We're focused on surviving and not thriving.
Yeah.
When you focus on thriving, you'll notice, and you've made this transition in your life,
Yes.
we're so focused on survival. Survival is just about, it's the M&M disease, me and more.
Yes.
Give me me and more. When you come over to the other side and you go, well, gosh, everything just gets taken care of, doesn't it?
Right.
We get provided for, don't we? Isn't it amazing?
Yes.
Like, it isn't what they're preaching in survival is about manipulation and control. When you're thriving and living in the non-physical, you're living with free will and choice, self-actualization, and transcension.
Yes.
You're living a magical life. So anything that's blocking you from living in your purpose is in the physical. Let me repeat that. Let me start there. It's in the physical. This is why I have a black and white approach to the physical and the non-physical, because I look at everything energetically. And when you look at the physical energetically, everything in the physical is designed to take our energy. You know, Jason, you played sports and coached.
Yes.
Athletes are either building their energy or using it, right?
Yes, that's correct.
It's one or the other.
It's one or the other.
In between the games, they're making choices of what they're putting in their body to give them more stamina and strength and to be able to perform at a higher level physically. They aren't sitting down and eating ice cream and cake before they go out and play football, right?
Absolutely not.
So there's your reason of what's blocking us is, if you really want to live your life purpose, understand energy and the non-physical and learn as much as you can about it your way, not my way, because we're all different and there's different things that are going to be intriguing to you, but it'll take us all to the same place. But you've got to understand the non-physical. You must know how to surrender. The more you can live in detachment and all of the things that provide phenomenon. People ask me, they're like, so when I work with you, if I coach with you, what's it going to be like for me? Right? And I say, well, I can tell you two things for sure. I have no idea what's going to happen. Number one, that I can guarantee you. And number two, I can describe to you what my life is. You don't have the capacity to comprehend it. So
before we run out of time, I want to get to one more thing. I mean, what do you say to people that are living with a blindfold on? You know, a lot of people out here are not woke. What do you say to those people that are living with a blindfold just throughout their daily lives?
Just check out some of the stuff I've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Do your own experimenting with it.
Yes.
It's everywhere. Go online, look up stuff about metaphysics, look up different exercises you can do. Go read about parking angels. Just start with a parking angel. Parking angels are angels who go in front of you before you go to the grocery store and make sure you have a place right in front. You do things like that to just create life and make life easier. So
yes,
it's open your mind, right? It's like there's so much. It's so exciting. And it's, there's, as you've been on this journey, Jason, there's nothing in the physical world that comes close to comparing how great it feels to get to know you. Isn't that correct?
I know, and I know exactly what you mean by that.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm getting to know you and you getting to know me, but we're the same.
Yeah.
And we're getting to know each other while we are each other.
And there's nothing sweeter
to know a different aspect of yourself.
That's right, man. Yes. It's like it's authentic and it's just it's the best.
So before we have to go, And you're coming back. You definitely coming back, because now that I know we can go there, we're gonna go there some more.
I'll go wherever you want to go.
Exactly. I want to go astral plane. I want to move more to
Go.
the pineal gland, but we can't. We're gonna our algorithm won't work if we go past 45 minutes. So we got to stay around that 45 minute range right in there, so we can make sure people see this video. But leave the audience with one last impression. And I want to say, Bill Heinrich, go to his website, people, www.truelifepurposenow.com. Understand how to live your life purpose and live without the blindfolds on, and understand what it means by surviving or thriving. Bill Heinrich can help you with this. Bill, can you leave the audience with one last tip or last
So I've
words of
got two.
encouragement?
The first thing I have is a free book for everyone. It's called Clarity Has No Story. And you can get it by going to myfreebook.me, myfreebook.me, and you can download my book, Clarity Has No Story, A Shaman's Guide to Mastering the Law of Attraction, myfreebook.me. The number one place to start is just observe your defensiveness. Because the ego is always in a place of defensiveness, and with love in your heart, there's nothing to defend.
Right.
If you've done something, where somebody's expected something and they say, hey, do you have that done? And it's like, well, but that, instead of, I am so sorry, I haven't done it yet. I'll have it done for you by this time. It's my fault. Everything just subsides. Don't defend yourself. Do not be defensive. Defensiveness means you're protecting a story inside you, which is keeping you in prison.
Wow. That's a good word. Okay, so we're going to move you to the back office. You stay there. Let me close this thing out. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Heinrich, he is a spiritual coach, helping you on the energetic path to success, giving you the keys to living your life with purpose. And the whole thing Bill talks about is surviving. People work and they function every day just surviving. And Bill wants to see you to start striving, start thriving, not striving, but thriving. He's got a 92% success rate at making this thing happen. And he will have you understand accountability versus responsibility. But Bill Heinrich is a great guest that we've had this evening, and I'm so glad that he decided to come on. But again, thank you for coming and listening to the expansion of consciousness. And I'm going to leave you with 3 words: relax, trust, and discover. Those are the words I'll leave you with. Thank you very much, and good night.